Don't jump, guys, all right?
Give him hell, Jim.
Thank you, Gwen, for that introduction. And a big congratulations to your fellow longshoremen who just won a record wage gains. You deserve it, man. You know, I'm called the most pro-union president in history. It's not hard, man. It's a simple proposition. Middle class built this country, and unions built the middle class. Period. I mean it. You sacrificed so much to keep America's ports open, especially during the pandemic. You deserve a strong contract. I also want to thank Governor Moore. I think he may be the best governor in the country, man. Where are you, Gov? I tell you what, man, I wish I had played ball with him. You know, and Mayor Scott, there you go. Stand up, man. Let him see you. This guy's being a mayor of a major city is one of the hardest jobs in American politics. They think you have all the answers and they know where you live. And Johnny O, county exec, where are you, Johnny? There you are. I used to be a county councilman. I think it's the hardest job in America. People think you know what you have. You don't have nearly what you think you have. They think you can solve all your problems, and when you can't, you get in trouble. And they know where you live, too, so thank you, Johnny O. Appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you in Congress next year, man. Look forward to seeing you in Congress. And Senator Ben Cardin, Senator Chris Von Halen. What the hell's his name? He's new. Chris and I have been doing this for so many years now, it's getting old. Or at least I'm getting old. Chris isn't getting old. And Ben, we're going to miss you in the Senate. We're going to miss you in the Senate. I want to thank Congressman Mufumi and Ruppersberger and Sarbanes. But, you know, every time I see Sarbanes, he seems about a foot taller. I don't know, man. Work his dad taught me that I better understand and learn. I better learn Greek or I'm going to be in trouble. And my good friend, and he is a good friend, we've shared a lot together, Steny Hoyer. Steny, thanks for all you've done, pal. And from my cabinet EPA director, Michael Regan. You know, last spring, in the dead of night, that massive container ship crashed into Key Bridge. Within seconds, steel beams crumbled into the harbor like toothpicks. 30,000 people lost their daily route to work, to school, and to home. 20,000 port-related paychecks became at risk. 6 construction workers were killed in the process. All were Marylanders, hard-working, strong, and selfless. I remember their families, as many of you did, and I vowed to them we'd never forget the contributions these men made to this city. And we do everything possible to reopen this port as fast as it possibly could be. I'm proud to say, with all the folks sitting assembled here and the unions assembled here, you did just that. The Port of Baltimore is back open for business. I want to thank the Coast Guard, the Navy, the Army Corps of Engineers, helped remove 50,000 tons of concrete and steel wreckage. 50,000 tons. Some thought the Mississippi Channel would be blocked for 6 months or more, but you cleared it in 78 days. 78 days. On top of this, my administration provided $60 million in federal funding for response and recovery, offered grants to displaced port workers to get paid to help with the cleanup, and teamed up with businesses to keep auto and farmer shipments moving. Result, 8,000 workers back on the job. Over 100,000 tons of cargo pass through this port again on a daily basis. But as I promised last spring, we won't stop until the new bridge is finished completely. Finished. I'm calling on Congress to fully fund it this year, before we go out, this year. New bridge built with American steel and union labor. And that's not all. For years I've been saying it's not enough just to rebuild America. We have to build it back better and stronger than before. That's why today I'm proud to announce we're delivering $3 billion in funding from my Inflation Reduction Act to help clean up and modernize ports in 27 different states and territories, from Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, and beyond, including, yes, Puerto Rico. I'd like to take that guy for a swim out there. Anyway. Stenny's looking at me, don't get going, Joe. Don't get going, Joe. Slow up. But this also includes a $447 million for the Port of Baltimore to upgrade its cargo equipment, infrastructure, and power grid. Folks, ports are the linchpin to America's supply chain. They keep goods moving, keep the economy strong, and they employ over 100,000 union workers, from Teamsters to longshoremen. But for too long, they've run on fossil fuels and aging infrastructure, putting workers at risk and exposing nearby communities to dangerous pollution. Studies show more childhood asthma, lung disease, and heart disease and cancer in folks who live close to ports. This is about environmental justice. I asked Gloria, who you heard from earlier, or any of the neighbors in Turner Station, or across the water in Curtis City, communities too long left behind, simply wrong. The new $3 billion funding we're delivering today will help ports and communities all across America. It will cut ports' opening costs, strengthen supply chains, make America businesses more competitive, and keep consumer prices down while slashing carbon pollution, and support an estimated 40,000 new good-paying jobs at the port in clean energy manufacturing all across America. In fact, the funding for this port is estimated to create 2,000 new jobs. Jobs for longshoremen, iron workers, engineers, electricians, utility workers, steel workers, laborers, and so much more. Good-paying union jobs you can raise a family on without a college degree. We're making sure all new port equipment funded by the Clean Ports program will be operated and maintained by people, not by robots, which are going to protect those jobs far into the future. Folks, this is just a small part of what we call Investing in America agenda. To invest in America and all Americans, it's working. Just look at how far we've come from the crisis we inherited from my predecessor. Example, my American Rescue Plan, which not a single Republican voted for, I might add, although there's conversions, delivering immediate economic relief to those who need it most and got us through the pandemic. The bipartisan infrastructure law is one of the most significant laws ever written to modernize our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, help replace every poisonous lead pipe in America, and bring affordable high-speed internet to every household. My predecessor promised Infrastructure Week every week for 4 years, but he never built a damn thing. My CHIPS and Science Act, also bringing semiconductor and advanced manufacturing back home where it belongs, where it started. And through the Inflation Reduction Act, we made the largest investment ever in history to fight climate change and accelerate clean energy, which is the way my predecessor said, by the way, he'd repeal it if elected. Folks, a lot at stake here. We're all investing in the America agenda, and because of what we did, remember how we were going to go into depression and all that stuff? Guess what? We got the strongest economy in the world, the whole damn world. And in America, our Invest in America agenda has already attracted $1 trillion in private sector investment. $1 trillion in clean energy, high-tech factories, and so much more. Here's what it means for Maryland. So far, in this state alone, it provides $13 billion for nearly 1,000 infrastructure, energy, and manufacturing projects. It matters For example, look at Baltimore and the Potomac Tunnel. It's 150 years old. I've walked through that. I used to commute every day back and forth from Wilmington to Washington. I walked through it. It's leaking. It needs to be replaced. It's badly needed. And thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law, it finally is being replaced. When the project is done, it will shorten commute time significantly, increase safety, and in the process will create 20,000 new construction jobs. And that's just one example of the investment. Folks, it's clear, after years of broken promises by the last administration, Kamala and I and our entire administration are delivering for America. We created a record 16 million new jobs, more than any single presidential term in American history. Wages are up. We brought inflation down to the same rate it was before the pandemic. In fact, wage gains have outpaced inflation. Some people have more money in their pockets. Interest rates are falling. Unemployment's been this low. It hadn't been this low for this long, been over 50 years because of you all. Manufacturing's making a comeback. Where the hell's it written saying we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? Where is that written? So we're bringing jobs back home and factories home. And by the way, we've invested more in red states than in blue states. Because I said when we got elected, we'd have president for all Americans. More in red states than in blue states. And those of you in Congress know that there's a group of Republican members of the House saying we got to keep this going. Because all of a sudden they're realizing how helpful it is. America once again has the world's strongest economy. Folks have filed a record 19 million new business applications since we took office. Each filing for new business application is an act of hope. Put it all together. In thousands of cities and towns, we're seeing the great American comeback story. Consumer confidence is up this month larger than ever. The economy is growing. Middle class is doing well. We're showing we're the only nation in the world that always emerges stronger from a crisis than we went into the crisis. The only one. We have to keep that progress going and growing. Let me close with this. When I see this port now, cranes in the air, ships and cargo on the move, I hope and feel what I hope you feel, a real sense of pride. I mean it sincerely. Pride. Pride in your community. Pride in our country. Pride in the capacity of our labor unions. That's what Baltimore Strong is all about. It's about pride. I know because generations of Bidens lived here since the 1850s. My dad was born here. He always told me, the true measure of a person is not how often you get knocked down, it's how fast you get back up. That's Baltimore, it gets back up fast. That's Maryland, it gets back up. And that's why I've never been more optimistic for our future. We just have to remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's keep working together.